to get started in a little bit. You know, JR. Hey, y'all. Here we go. Let's see.
Hey
Hey.
y'all, what's
How's
going
it
on?
going?
Hey,
Hey.
what is going on? Hold on, let me get this right, man.
Get it right now.
Are we good? Okay, we good. Yeah. What is going on? How are you? How's everything?
He just come in all just fussing with everything and just
Yes, hi everybody. What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing today? On this nice day today.
all right.
I wanted to tell sis she is national now. You know.
No, what you tell me? Y'all. We.
He said it. I didn't.
I know it's but first thing I said, she said, he said y'all,
I had to make
not
sure because
you.
I knew what you was gonna do. I ain't famous. No, he said y'all. Maybe I need
I
to
know,
sit
that's what I
this
was repeating
episode.
back to you.
Oh, okay. Maybe I need to sit this episode. No, because I want this. I was shirt the show. Wait a minute. I need to get it together. This is not coming out the way I want to. Okay, hold up.
As I said, you came in here all struggling and moving and
Right,
making
right.
noise.
All wrong. Okay, I think we good now. I think we good body. I think we straight. We should
You
be.
sure?
Yes,
You
I
sure? I don't
hope
want no
so.
problems.
Look, I hope so.
I don't want no problems.
Look, I hope so.
You know how
Okay, yeah, we
you
good.
do.
We good.
Hey, cousin. Parker brother. It's my cousin, first cousin.
Oh, hey, cuz. Who
Hey,
up in here
twin.
already?
G,
Of course. Hey, bro.
Chastity,
Chastity, hey, sis.
Montrez,
Montrez, yes.
Miles,
Okay.
my cousin.
We got the family up in this joint.
Gang, gang.
Mm-hmm.
Gang, gang, gang.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We'll let a couple more people pop in.
Mm-hmm.
So how your day?
Good, good. Today wasn't too bad. You know, it was only like a couple of us at work today because everybody still didn't come in. You know what I'm saying? People was like, you know what? I'm gonna work from home today. The roads wasn't too bad, you know. So I went in late, but you know, I was like, don't let me mess up a whole or take another whole half a day of my time. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go in, forget it. But I know I definitely ain't working Friday. They ain't getting me this Friday. Not at all, because it's my mother's birthday and I'm going to be with her. So, mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Sugar hit me up. She told me to tell everybody hello and she love you all.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, hey, Tamara. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl.
Hey, girl. Good to have you in the
Yeah.
line. I,
Yep.
yes. You about to see the foolery. You about to see the foolery.
From JR.
Girl, don't even do it. This is the R&B
I just be trying to rein
Representers.
him.
Yes, this is the R&B Representers, not the R&B Representer. Exactly.
I'm the rep and I resent you.
Oh, please. Oh, please. Don't even
That
do
was
that.
that was clever though.
It was
I
cute, but
resent you.
no. Because you came from my neck. You're not going to be coming from my neck. My neck on fire as it is.
Yep.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
that
Don't
could
do
be
that.
a catch. That could be a catch that you text me.
No, that's not my phrase. I'm imitating one of them TikTok people who do it
Oh,
like,
okay, okay,
yeah.
okay.
I don't steal.
Ooh. Hey, grandma. Hey, girl. She already starting already, girl.
What?
You don't steal. Hello.
She says she need one of those shirts. Well, you can get one. Hey, Serena. Hey, babe. Hey, Elle.
Hey, Al. Oh, yes. Catch that.
How you? Lord.
What, you talking about how you pinned it?
Yeah, how you pin it? I did it
Uh,
before.
yeah, you did. Hold on.
Oh, I got it.
You got it? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. LC. All right. So for everybody who does not know, today, well, we said monthly we're going to do a show called Ask the R&B Reps,
Mm-hmm.
where you can ask us our questions about our opinions, or just to analyze, or just to talk about something that you want us to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And it went so well last month that we decided we're going to do it every month, once a
Mm-hmm.
month.
Yeah.
So today is a little twist though, because today me and JR are going to be interviewing each other. But y'all can still ask questions too.
Right. Right.
But we prepared some questions, but we don't know what the other's going to ask, so it's on the fly.
I hope my questions is all right for real.
You never know with you.
Oh God. Oh God.
Ain't
No,
no
no.
telling what
You're
you're
the
going to ask me.
unexpected one. You. Yeah, you. Yes. Yeah. Grandma, am I right? Am I right, girl? Yes. Uh, oh man. Oh, before we get started,
Cute.
I want to say this. I want to say this. I want to say, protect our black women, please. We got to protect our black women. That's all I want to say before this live. You know what I'm saying? I love my black women, so I want to protect them. And we protecting them here at R&B Representers, and that's just what it is. So I want to say please protect our black women. Please. Please. Just want to say that for you, my lovely sisters, all y'all up in this joint. You know what I mean? Showing love to y'all.
That's right. Yeah.
So,
Do you want to ask? Well, we'll go back and forth.
okay.
Yeah. Because you going too long, they might want to cut it off because they're like, oh, JR.
Don't do it. Grandma, girl, she's already starting already, like for real. So I'm gonna have a couple in my bag for this one tonight, for real. Okay. All right. So let's go.
Yeah. And also, Michael sent us a question too, because he can't be here tonight either.
Okay.
So he sent us a question as well.
Michael Brown.
Yep.
Okay.
So, you want to start?
Okay, I
It don't
can.
matter.
Okay, I can. All right. So I'm gonna start off easy. I'm gonna say, if you were stuck on an island and you see, that's what I'm saying. I'm starting off easy. And you had 3 R&B albums you could only listen to 3 R&B albums, and that's it. What would they be?
Let me see. They all need to be double albums.
You cheater.
No, I'm just saying. On an island.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's not necessarily your favorites, because you got to think about,
You're smart.
you
You're
know.
smart. You're kind, and you is important.
Um, I'm gonna say, dang,
Ooh, did I sway
this
you?
ain't easy.
Really?
Um, I probably would. I mean, I would definitely have. I don't like this question.
I don't think she would. I don't think she would.
Did I miss?
You can come back to it.
No, 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 because I ain't gonna let you come at none of yours. All right.
Jesus. Ugh.
Maybe. Whew.
Ooh, then I should have saved this one. Jeez.
Sheesh.
Come on, you can do
Guess.
it. You can
That's
do
all
it,
right.
boo. You can do it, boo. I have faith in you. You are national now. Get it together. You're on the national stage. You're on the national stage.
So I'm gonna take Mama's Gun.
Okay.
I'm gonna take. I'm gonna take Stevie's Music of My Mind. And it's a shame I picked all men. And I would take D'Angelo. No, I
Yeah,
did pick
you
Mama's
picked
Gun. So that's a
Erica,
one.
you picked Stevie, you picked D'Angelo.
Yeah, D'Angelo. It could be Voodoo or Black Messiah.
Okay. Okay.
That's just a hard one because I'm thinking of what has different tempos but means a lot
Exactly.
to me.
That's what, because I
And
was
that
like, when you normally ask people that question, their favorite three. You don't want that because you're on an island and this is the only three albums you can listen to. So you got to make sure your tempo is right. You got to make sure you can vibe with an album like that. So I figured that would be a question.
oh, okay. My chat. I didn't see all the new chat. Now I see it. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Chastity said she
Okay.
thought she was going to say Keith Sweat, want a Keith Sweat album.
No, not on the island.
Yeah.
I love Keith Sweat, but I can't listen to that every day. No, ma'am.
That's a hard voice to like.
I couldn't listen to that every day.
No. Ooh, no.
Now I can listen to the whole album. I can listen to a whole album front to back, but I couldn't listen to it every day.
Right.
That's just too much.
After a while, I need to clean my ears. No. I'm
You
just
go
saying. I'm just
you
saying.
go leave Keith alone though. But no, it's not. You're correct. It's not an easy voice to like. I don't mind it, but I love the songs.
Right. I agree.
I
I
love
agree.
the song.
I
Yeah.
agree. Hey, Neltron, what's up, Stan?
Yeah, it is whining, and because there's a lot of artists I love that whine. They just do,
Yeah.
but they make good music. But I ain't gonna play it every day.
Agreed. Agreed.
So I can respect that. All right. So, what artist does Alise love that you just don't understand, and why?
An artist that Alise loves that I don't understand.
You don't understand why, and why?
So wait a minute. So the questions are us asking you, like,
Yeah.
because but I'm like, shouldn't you be asking me something about me? Right?
I can ask you whatever the fuck I want to ask you, JR.
Okay. All right. All right. What artists do I not so I don't understand?
And I asked you why, so that would be you putting why you don't
my
understand
why
why
on it,
somebody
yeah.
would love the
I got
artist.
it. I got it. Who do you like that I just be like, I
Hey,
cannot?
DJ Monday Blue.
I'm gonna say, I'm thinking that I'm going back to our episode that we did, and you played Blue Magic, and you know why I don't like them. And you know why I don't like them. I can't deal with them begging groups. I can't do it. They get on my nerves. They irk me. And everybody up in here know why. I just can't do it. So when you played Blue Magic and you started singing Sideshow, I was done. No.
That's not even a begging song.
It don't matter. They are in all those groups, and I can't take it. Stylistic Dramatics, all them, Blue Magic, all them. I just can't do it. No. You love them. Y'all love them. Great. I just can't do it. It's not my bag. I'm sorry.
Yeah, y'all. JR, he don't really roll with Blue Magic, Enchantment, Dramatics,
Nope.
Stylistics.
Mm-mm.
He don't like Delphonics.
Nope.
He don't rock with them groups. And I love, love, love those groups. You don't even like the Dramatics?
I like them.
Not really. No,
Nah.
I just want to get it straight. Okay.
Yeah, not really. I'm not.
Wow.
Yeah. Don't say very sad like you didn't know this. Let's not be brand new. Don't do that up in the
That
chat. Don't do that. You know darn
that
well.
didn't change the sadness.
But it don't matter. He ain't got to type that up in there. No.
He's still sad. You done made that man depressed. That man was living his life with
I remember when I told
sunshine
him
and
that.
glitter.
He was like, what is going on? Yeah. Yeah, I'm just. Yeah, sorry, y'all. Sorry. Oh, man. So on me. All right. What R&B song best describes Alise?
Golden Lady by Stevie Wonder.
Ooh. Ooh, I like. Why does that song describe you? Because you're a golden
Sunshine.
lady? Oh God.
No, because on a serious tip, no, I'm always smiling and laughing and in a good mood and sunshiny.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and that song just is that. And then it's just like an easy going because I don't take things too serious.
Right.
So it's just in the song, it's just kind of golden lady, I like to. Yeah, like that. It's
Yeah.
just,
Okay. Okay. Good choice.
yeah,
Good choice.
yeah.
Good choice.
Sunshine.
Oh.
All right.
I can't wait till I ask this one. Ah!
Oh, God.
No, it's not bad.
Well, besides me or your family,
Mm-hmm.
whose opinions and analysis of music do you trust the most?
Oh my. Oh my. Besides you and my family, which y'all damn near y'all, a lot of y'all up in here. Um, I would have to say Nelson George. Nelson George he's one of my biggest inspirations. I looked up to him as a kid, and because of the knowledge he had in music, and I was like, yo, I want to be like that. I want to be like a historian and things like that. So that's why I started reading liner notes because of him and a lot of that. So Nelson George, if he says something, I'll be like, yeah, that nigga right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, other than that, it's like, okay, I'm gonna do my own little research, but I'm like, yeah, he know what he's talking about. So Nelson George, big inspiration. So it would be him. Oh, I like that question. That was
Ah,
good.
I told you I was very
Girl, I was
thoughtful in the
at work
process.
like, okay, so I know this part here you hate, right? So people try to rewrite music history often, right? So what is one thing in R&B history that you hate that people try to rewrite?
This is not going to be my answer, but one thing that we do talk about a lot, I hate how people try to rewrite the narrative of guy groups in the 90s and who people listen to, like with Jodeci and Boys and Men, and they try to change the stats on that. But I've talked about that ad nauseum, so I'm going to pick something else.
Okay. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah. But I probably talk about that every other day. Because it makes me angry.
Yo, you be going in, yo. Like, you be like, what you say? You went in on our radio show. You went in on our lives. You be like, our radio show, like, you will go in, dog. Like, I loved it. That's why I had to send somebody that clip. And they was like, who is she? That was like one of our first radio shows. I was like, that is my co-host. She goes in. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So, that's, ooh.
I don't like. I guess this is kind of, it's not necessarily rewriting history, but I don't like when younger people who weren't around at the time when certain artists were popping, and all they do, instead of asking someone who was around the time,
Right,
that they just look up stats. They'll just look up chart. They'll just look up sales and not knowing the relevance of, of the context of what was going on, what was on the radio, what were the dances. They don't even go to see how these people toured.
right.
If they sometimes they can go and look and see a artist that might not have sell a lot, they might be sell out every show,
Right. Because that's
or
go ahead. Go ahead.
or they go and look and be like, oh, they didn't have a number one. It's like, well, of course they didn't have a number one because they was out when Janet and Michael and Whitney and everybody was making music and Mariah. So no, they weren't number one.
Right.
If Mariah or Janet had put their album out a week after, that person probably would have had a number one week.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so I don't like that.
And it's like sometimes you have to be there. You know what I'm saying? Because it's fine to have the research. It's fine to do all that. But it's also better to be there. Like, you had to be there to experience some of this. And that's what sometimes I hate with a lot of our R&B influencers or R&B people that's there. Because sometimes they be young and they be like trying to argue with you. And you be like, well, wait a minute. Were you even there? Were you there? Were you even... Like, how old are you? That's fine, you know the history, but sometimes you need to also be there to experience that. You know what I mean? That's why, again, how I always say when I learn something, I ask mom. Like that whole salt and pepper situation. I went to her. She was through that. You know what I'm saying? So she understood what was, again, playing on the radio. She knew what was hot. She knew what was this. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, sometimes you have to be there. It's good to read the liner notes. It's good to know the history. But if you were there and experienced it, then that was great. That's great too.
Yeah. And also related to that, I also see, this is for people who actually are music heads. It's a pet peeve. And you have one that grew up in LA and one that grew up in Brooklyn and one that grew up in Durham, North Carolina. And they're talking about regional songs from other places. And they don't understand the impact, but they just spew stuff, and they're like, "Well, they ain't played. They never played that on the." I get you sometime. You be like, "Dang, I don't remember hearing that on the radio." I say, "Yeah, because it was a regional record, or that record just did better in the South, or that record did better in the West, or that record did better overseas." You know.
My mom did say at one time that there was different charts for different regions. Like the South had their own, the North had theirs. So that's why a lot of, like, again, you know, my thing, we love like Tyrone Davis and we love Roy C. and all that. In the South, they were getting love down there. When you come up here, some of the people from the South brought that up here. You know what I'm saying? And then it started to pick up. But you go to South Carolina, they was playing a lot of that stuff already. You know what I mean? And that's what my mom was like, it was different charts. New York had their own. South Carolina, North Carolina, they had their own. So, like you said, when I be like, well, wait a minute, I didn't hear that on the radio. And you was like, but wait a minute. It might have not been on the radio up here, but it sure was getting played down here. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so mine put me onto that early too. So that's a good one.
Yeah.
I knew this was gonna be a good question. I knew it would take us somewhere. I knew it. I was like, I'm gonna ask her this, see where she go with it. And you did what I thought. You was so kind, you was important, and you was smart.
Mm-hmm. I said the West Coast Neltron. I said there's one in LA and there's one in Brooklyn and one right here in Durham. And then, so
you
I'm
know
also
he got to act dull like does sometimes, so it's cool.
I'm just messing with him though. I just love to do it.
Oh.
It makes my skin glow every time I give him a hard time.
Right.
I become more of a golden lady.
I like that. Oh, so it's on you.
That's how the baby no picture. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Besides Jasmine Sullivan, what artist of the last 10 years would you love a live album from? I said besides her because I know you said that.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah.
From the last 10 years.
Mine would actually be I would love one from Melody Fiona. I love her. I love Melody Fiona. I've loved her since she first came out, and I've been a fan. And I've actually seen her live, and she is dope. So I would love an album from her. I would love a live album from her. She's dope. Like she would be top list for me.
Okay.
I can't breathe without you.
I hope she don't sound like that.
Okay. See, you coming from my neck. My neck is hot here. Here you go. Okay. So, my question to you is, why do you connect to Phyllis Hyman so much? What is about her voice that connects you to her?
There's a certain, it's interesting, though her voice is so powerful and so big, it still has a vulnerability to me. And I think that is not an easy thing to do. It's like big, but without being cocky. Like,
I can totally understand that. I get it. I get it. Because you got me thinking about Living All Alone. And I don't think anybody else could have did that song but her because of the vulnerability in it. It's like, that song, you gotta feel sad. And she makes you feel sad, but it's such a beautiful song. So I completely get, her vulnerability. I hate that word. Vulnerability in her voice. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. So I thought you was gonna say that, but I didn't know if you were. Like, it's a vulnerability in her voice. It's beautiful. You know what I mean?
So this is funny. I was digging through some boxes today, and I found a bunch of CDs. And this is one of the ones that I.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Like just a few hours ago.
I knew I had to ask you a Phyllis one because I know that's your favorite vocalist. I was like, I wanted to see what connected you to her. I just love Phyllis' attitude. I love how she ain't talk no mess. She ain't talk no mess. That's what I love about her.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't just her singing. It was her persona, her eh, like like all of that together.
Okay. So the package of her is what you
Yeah. And
okay.
she was beautiful.
Yes, she was.
Um,
Yes, she was.
you know, and just beautiful and proud and didn't take no mess.
That's what I love about
Even
her.
even if it hurt her, it's like, you know what? I have certain principles. I'm gonna be who I am.
Yep. I totally agree. I totally
Music industry don't like that. Well, business don't like that. They don't want you to be yourself.
right,
They
right.
want they want robots.
Yes, and that's what I love about it because she put herself on blast, and then she will put other people on blast. You know what I'm saying? Like, and she
Hmm.
didn't care. She was like, I don't care how the industry take it. I'm gonna be me,
Yeah.
and if you don't like it, and it closed a lot of doors for her, but she still had an impact. Her impact is still huge, no matter how much doors was closed. And she said, I'm not doing this. And one thing about Phyllis, she was for her people. You know what I mean? She hired her people. She worked with her people.
Hmm.
Want to talk about Black History Month? Phyllis was about that life. You know what I'm saying? A black manager, a black executive, a black this, a black that. But she will call people out, yo. She called Tina Turner out. She called Diana out. She was like, I don't see any black people working for them. So how you giving back to your community if you ain't working with them? I was like, Phyllis, you better go off. Oh man, but
Yes. Then said she also had the range of low and high. She could do both well. It wasn't like
absolutely.
it wasn't like some people to where they do high really well and they do low okay,
Mm-hmm.
or vice versa. No,
Yeah.
she could do both at the same quality.
Yes. I agree. I agree. I absolutely agree.
Oh yeah, Chastity, she called out. We'll send you the video.
Oh yeah, we'll
Yeah.
send you the video. She called her
This ain't
out.
hearsay. This ain't hearsay. She said this on the interview
Absolutely. She called them
from
out.
her mouth.
Yep. Called them straight out. I was like, oh. So the
Like,
industry didn't like that too much.
mm-mm.
Mm.
And then she had to fool with Clive, and it's just a mess.
Who? Girl. We ain't about to get our lives shut down, girl.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh man. Oh,
All right.
this for
We, huh?
this for both of us.
I guess so. Yeah.
Okay, if you can stop one
So Neil said,
classic
if you could.
soul artist from making an album, what album would it be and why?
Ooh.
Ooh, that's a good one. If it,
Ooh.
okay, I'm somewhere, I'm here, but I'm like, what album would I take out if it was any? Um, if any album from me that I could take out from a soul artist, and mine would be Marvin, I would take out In My Lifetime. I would have took out the
Mm.
album after Hear My Dear. I'd have took that album out for me. It just didn't
Yeah.
it didn't connect to me. And I think that's when Marvin was dealing with what he was dealing with overseas and broke, and Motown was leaving him high and dry and all that. But I just don't think
Yeah.
that album just didn't connect to me. So I would say In My Lifetime. And that's when he was like, I know I'm out. You know what I mean? Like he was like, I'm leaving Motown. I'm taking my behind to CBS because this ain't working. And you can feel it. You can feel that it wasn't his spirit and soul wasn't in it. And that's why I
Yeah.
have to say that. I have to say In My Lifetime by Marvin. Oh, that hurt. But that was a good question, Neil. Good
It was.
question.
I'm still trying to think of mine.
I'm trying to
Um.
think of anybody else.
Hmm. Let's see. I'm like looking at my records, trying to look and see if it's an artist. Because now all of a sudden my mind went blank.
Um,
Mm.
no, no. I was. You thought I was gonna say the EP? No, I. Even though I go in on that album so much, I'm glad he made it. I'm glad he made it because it opened a lot of doors for a lot of artists. So I could say that to be funny, but no, I'm glad he made it. He did that for a reason. Absolutely, it created careers. It built careers. So I can't even be mad at it. But nah, but we're talking about a classic soul artist. Was that shade?
I mean, I could throw a couple of Aretha albums in there,
Why
honestly.
was I just thinking about her? Why was I just thinking about her? Because Aretha had some duds, yo. Like, son. I was about to be like, yo, am I going to shake the table on this one? Like, Aretha had some duds. We ain't going to talk about the, La Diva and what else? What was the one before that? I forgot because Aretha had some done. Thank God for Sparkle. That album brought her back a little bit because she had a couple of duds. So yes, okay, man, you were thinking the same thing. We were here with it.
And then some of them later, they're not cohesive albums. But I don't think they shouldn't have not made them though. But yeah, but them
You ain't
that
lying
period of
though.
Aretha before Sparkle, yeah, that little
that
little
little
pocket of
like
time.
after I can say after the album after Young, Gifted, and Black. That was 72. Then she came out with the album Let It Be Life. That one is with Until You Come Back to Me, all that. I think after that album, Aretha kind of, she took a little dip. Then she came back up with Sparkle. Then she took another dip. And then she got with Luther with Jump to It. Then she took another little dip. So Aretha had some dips. We ain't gonna lie.
Oh, Neltron, that's true. Most of our favorite artists have duds, especially if they got a whole lot of albums.
Right.
You can't win it.
You
You
can't
just
win it.
sometimes you're
Not
gonna
all the
miss.
time. Not
And
all the time.
especially in the periods where music is changing,
Right.
when the decade is turning over and the music shifts, that's a lot of times where you'll get the dud because you'll get them trying to make your artist sound like the new sound instead of using what worked for them or putting them with someone who can mesh the
Mesh.
two styles,
Right. Right.
not force it.
Right. Right. That was a good question.
So yeah, any artist with longevity, they got a few duds.
They got a few duds. Yes. Oh
And you
yes.
know what? They deserve to be able to have those duds. They let every other type of artist have duds and still call them legends. So
Mm-hmm. Facts. Facts. That was a good one.
we so hard on our R&B artists. They ain't like that in
Girl.
the other world.
Ooh. Ooh. Now it's like you
Okay, I'm gonna
trying
go
to.
back. I'm gonna go back to their question. We're gonna do another one of our questions, then I'll get a question
Okay. Okay.
from the audience. So
Okay.
who
It was on
who
you
asked
because
one
I asked
last?
mine. It was on you.
Okay. Hmm. When the world opens back up,
Mm-hmm.
what artists that you've never seen live do you want to see first?
The Hammer Tones. I want to see them live so bad. It's ridiculous. I'm so ready to have my shoes off and like fried chicken in my hand and some a drink in my hand. I want to be so black at their concert. I swear to God, like I want to see them so bad. Hamilton's it. I swear, I got to see them live. Like I would. I'm sorry, I get hype over them dudes. Like them some singing backwoods brothers. I swear, I would love to see them live. Crazy. They would be the first ones I would go to. Did I have that question for you? Because I was like, you done saw everybody.
Yeah, because I'm sitting here trying to think of what I would answer.
That's why I was like, let's see what sis would say. Because I
Oh,
was like,
you know what? I still haven't seen Layla. Every time I'm supposed to go see Layla, something happened.
ooh, Layla, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good
And
one.
yeah, my last concert I was supposed to see this year before the Rona. I was supposed to go see Rashawn Patterson again, but I already seen him, so that's not the answer to the question.
Well, that was
I
one
would
of
have
my
loved to
questions.
see him. Yeah, I would have loved to see him again.
Yeah, that was one of my questions, but I can go to another one.
Oh yeah, you remember that video when they were singing to the goat?
Yeah. Amazon was open for Raheem Devine, and nobody was feeling them. Wow, that's crazy. Like them brothers can. I would love to see them because I done saw like a live thing that they got on
Was it a
YouTube.
younger Raheem audience or was it an older Raheem audience? Because with Raheem, you go to one show and it's a bunch of younger people, and you go to some shows and it's a bunch of older people like me and up.
Right, right. Okay. What is your favorite besides which the song you got tattooed on you? What is your favorite R&B lyric? I like my question.
Okay, one of them, I'm gonna say this one, but then I'm gonna say another one that's like not necessarily a favorite, but like very poignant, like
Okay.
just that like me.
Mm-hmm.
But the other one, which I want to get on my other arm, is another Donny Hathaway, and it's from Song for You, and it's listen to the melody because my love is in there hiding. I just love it's just
Oh,
poetry.
yes. Yes. Oh, wow. Shout out
And
to
for a musician to say that,
yes.
like that makes it even sweeter. Like an action musician said to you,
That is
listen to the melody.
dope.
You talk about his own music. You listen to the melody. My love is in there hiding.
That's brilliant. Shout out to Leon Russell who wrote the song. But Donnie brought it. Like that's his song. I know Leon Russell
Yeah.
did it first, but that's Donnie's song.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Mr. Steal Your Song is Donnie.
Yes, yes. He's another one. Oh man.
So I think I was telling you about it. There's this one Jill Scott lyric that just like when thinking about heartbreak and breakups, on Hear My Call, and
Oh yeah, you did tell me about this, yeah.
she says, I played by all the rules and then they changed. And I was just like, but
Oh,
one of my favorite songs lyrically is definitely Green Eyes by Erica.
that song is
Lyrically.
everything. That song is everything. That song takes you through 14 minutes of emotions. You know what I'm saying? Like, that song is dope. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So let's see. Let's take a question from the
Our
question
R&B
box.
Reps family. From our sister. If you can tell any 90s R&B artist or group to tell them which song they need to take off. They need to take off one song off their album. What would it be?
Mm.
I'm about to be
Nice.
shady as heck. But this ain't my answer. Jodeci need to take away the whole side B.
Oh, forever my lady.
Yes.
B is
Good.
for bad.
Bye bye. Like gone.
Yeah, cause them up tempos is bad.
Bad. They just not good up tempos, period. They only got one
Yeah.
good one, and that's Get On Up. That's it. That's it.
Like they make you a great slow song, but them
Oh
up
yeah.
tempos,
Oh yeah. That first half, that first side of Forever My Lady, amazing. Great. Awesome. But that side B, no ma'am.
we got our first Neltron skip of the night.
Oh, but one song.
Um,
Hmm. A 90s artist that I would be like,
hmm. You like that song, G? Let's go through the motions. That's cute.
he like probably the remix. That's on Who's the Man.
Yeah, yeah. I do like the remix.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Dalvin finally getting some shine. Did I say that? Yeah, I did.
You did.
Oh shoot. I'm trying to think.
Hmm.
Okay. I know what one it is. I might shake the table on this one. She's my favorite artist, but Mary did not have to do I'm Going Down. I'm sorry. I didn't need it. I didn't need it. Mm-mm. Nope. If I was in that studio, I'd have been like fighting. Girl, no. No, don't do it. So yeah, so that would be one. Trying to think of a group, trying to think of my girls, SWV. As much as I don't like Weak, but I'm glad they did do it.
Hmm.
Excuse me, Montrez, you said what?
Oh
You said
no.
you said don't go. Off My Life? I think you need to go listen to it again. I need
But you know what? I love that song, but I have heard other people say that they don't like it.
I think they need to go listen to it again with different ears or something. Because something's not right. I don't understand. Help me understand. I don't get how you don't like that song. Help me out. I'm confused. Grandma, what's up with you people? How do you don't like that song? I'm trying to think. Yeah, that would be it, to be honest. Like it would be probably Mary, I'm Going Down.
Hmm.
That's it for real. Cause I mean that's it. That's all I got.
I
What?
think I could have done without.
I love this. Y'all are
I
awesome at
mean,
expressing.
I mean, Erica's live album would include Tyrone, so I think she could have never done that.
I agree. I don't have to hear that song ever again.
Especially the studio version. That's
Mm-hmm.
bad.
I don't have to hear
That's
that.
bad.
Yeah.
But I will sing it at karaoke though, just so you know. It's a crowd pleaser, and it is Erica.
Okay. I can dig that. got my business. It's, but yeah, that song ain't needed. I get it.
Well, okay. So L kind of had a remix of the question, but what song would you remove from an otherwise perfect album? And I guess that could be any era.
Oh, okay. I got mine. Interventions is perfect. Completely perfect. But I think Alise knows the song that I will take off. And it will be Higher Ground. That song can
Oh,
go. Bow. Like, oh God, that song just, ugh. It's that Interventions is a perfect album. It's my favorite Stevie album. I love that album, but if I had to take off a song, it would be Higher Ground. I don't gotta ever hear that song ever again in life. Like ever. When they do his tributes, it seems like everybody picks, well, not everybody. You know who picks them. But no, I don't, Higher Ground would be it. I don't, that song can go. I'm not here for it.
I think Jill's first album is a perfect album for me, but they could take off Getting in the Way.
Okay.
And I think it would make it completely perfect for me.
I agree.
Because I didn't like Getting in the Way until I heard the Live Experience album and how she explained it, first of all, of
Right.
what she meant, her intentions when she wrote it, and the arrangement that they did, and all the little extra little harmonies and little tricks they did at the end was great. And it made me appreciate that song in a different way. So now I can hear the other song. Because at one point I was like, I just didn't want to hear it at all. And now I can hear it and it's fine.
Yeah,
I get it.
it's sometimes songs you like better live. It's some songs you like better
Mm-hmm.
live. For
Yeah.
sure.
But and I also, and at the time I understand why she had to do a song like that, because it was, for one, it sounded so different, and then she looked so different in the video, and it was interesting, and it was new, and she
Yeah.
had to do that to kind of create a relatability
It kind of
to
sucked
all
you in.
women,
It
because
sucked
kind
you
of
in.
all women could kind of relate,
Yeah.
to the of when somebody done fucked up.
Right.
Like, all women can relate to that.
Yeah.
And so I think she had to come out with a song like that. Because then she was able to come out with Long Walk, and it was just like, it's just, I don't think Long Walk would have did good as a first single.
I agree with that. I totally agree with that. I
But
agree.
it's a perfect second single.
I agree. I
They
totally
did
agree.
they did her right
Yep.
with how they A&R'd that. They did
Yes.
her right.
I totally agree. I totally agree with that. Because if they would have let Long Walk be the first single, it would have messed up that whole rollout. Because it was like you got to her with Getting in the Way, and then right then and there it was like, ooh, Long Walk. It's like, ooh, okay, okay. And then,
They're like, okay, she can do that too. They're
right,
like,
right. She can get gully, but then she can be smooth. You know what I'm saying? Even though she's talking about gully shit in it anyway, but she's still, you know what I
but the
mean?
song's so sweet that people
Right,
don't notice it. That she talking
right,
about smoking weed and
right.
yeah.
One of Michael Jackson's first album. Talking about Got to Be There? That album? Talking about the Music and Me album? Then, it's on to you.
All right. So you know how we feel about duets with two women.
Yes.
That is not our favorite thing.
No, it's not.
What is a duet of two living artists that you think would really work and sound really good?
And you saying two
It can be older
females?
artists or new artists, but living.
Okay,
Yeah.
two females, right? I think give me. No, I'm not gonna go that way. I would say give me Stephanie Mills and she's an artist that I talked about on my show. I think they will work. Her name is Keisha Renee. She's like a background vocalist for, like she did background vocals for Nicki Minaj or that. I would say give me Stephanie and give me Keisha Renee. I think those two will work. I think those two will really work together. Cause I'm like, for real, I wouldn't want Fantasia to go against nobody. Honestly, her and Jennifer did that already, and I'm good with that. But I think, yeah, Stephanie and Keisha Renee, or give me, what's her name? Cynthia Erivo. That's her name. And
Oh,
that's her name.
I don't know her.
Oh, you do know her. And
No.
Vivian Green. Those two. Cynthia Erivo and Vivian Green. So those would be my choices off the top. That's who I could think about. Who would be yours? That was a good question.
I would love to hear Jill Scott and Vivian Green, just off the fact that they used to sing together because Vivian Green was her background. And I would love to hear, because they know each other so well,
right,
musically,
yeah,
that I think they would know how to frame it to make it a good, like make a great song.
Right. Oh, that's dope. That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was a good question. Okay. So this is I'm gonna make you put on like your A&R hat right quick. Oh, somebody asked another question?
I just was seeing what people said in the comments. I was just scrolling. I was seeing what other people said.
Okay.
Somebody said Janet and her.
Okay.
Neltron didn't follow directions, so I'm not reading his. Midnight Love said Ari, Lennox, and Fantasia. Mr. Tibbs said Jasmine Sullivan and Layla.
Ooh. Okay.
And y'all don't even, but I think that will work.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Jasmine Sullivan and Layla. Ooh. Ooh.
That would be very interesting.
That'll be some heat for real.
And see, now that actually saw Jasmine doing a duet with her on the tiny desk,
Mm-hmm.
you can see that she know how to hold back when you're supposed to with a duet, so it meshes well.
Yeah.
I don't like the song, but I thought the combination of them two worked.
Right. Right.
Of Jasmine and her.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like that song, but I like how it. So.
Okay. So it's on me. So you got to put on your A&R hat for this one. So if you were an A&R in the 80s and you had this new artist, what R&B producer would you send this artist to?
What kind of artist is it? Do they have a high voice, a low voice? Do they have a powerful voice? Do they have a whisper voice?
Yeah.
Because that's going to matter.
Right.
Are they a singer or are they not a singer? That matters too.
They're a
Because if they
singer.
can't
They're a
sing,
singer.
because if they can't sing, I'm gonna put them with a loud ass producer,
Right. Right.
somebody who music loud, like
Right.
like
No.
loud, like Teddy Rock loud.
Right. 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 No. It's between. I give you this. You got a female artist between a Vesta Williams and Whitney Houston. Where would you send this artist? Now, mind you, who our R&B producers are during this time.
Yeah.
That's who I said. That's what I was gonna say, Miles.
Yeah, I probably would go either Kashif or
I was gonna say one more, but I don't know which I would think.
either Kashif or probably Jam and Lewis.
What
I
about
would
in?
love to see in the 80s. Well, you do know what they can do with a powerful voice.
Mm-hmm.
I think they should have worked more with more powerful voices because they actually know what to do with
They
it.
know what to do with them. Yeah. What about Entume?
Question:
Okay.
would it be with this group? Because this all matters.
Yeah.
Is it a group that's like coming out in 1980 or coming out in 86?
No.
That matters.
Right. Right. This, and I should have said that this artist is coming out in like 82. So that's why I said I like Kashif. I like Jam and Lewis because Jam and Lewis is working with they working with Gladys during that time. So so yeah. So I was saying Entume because Entume could give you from I say 82 to 87. He was all right as a producer to me. I would take him over. I would take an artist over there, especially with a powerful voice. And again, we between Vesta and Whitney, you working with an artist through there. I would send them to there, and then you can send them to Jam and Lewis if you want that single. You know what I'm saying? Like if you want that single, I would send them to Jam and Lewis. So yeah, I want to see what you thought. Like be it an A&R, putting your A&R hat on. Where would you send your artist? So you said Kashif.
Yeah, for 80s, yeah. Kashif, because, and one of the things that I love about Kashif is he could do the up tempos and he could do a great ballad
Mm-hmm.
and write it too.
Right.
He ain't just producing it, he can write you a little something too.
Yeah. Because he was giving the club bangers to Evelyn Champagne King, but then he was giving the ballads to Whitney
To
and
Whitney.
yeah, and you know what I mean? Like, and I think did he give some to Melissa too? They did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did, right? Yeah. So he knows. He was my first thought. I was like, I will go to him because he know how to work it.
So if you ever talk to her, she's Melissa.
Oh, that's what she said?
Melissa Morgan.
I
Not
call her
Melissa.
Melissa. Huh?
But that's not her name.
I'm black. That's why. I don't think about the
No.
apostrophe in that. I'd be like, Melissa girl.
I pronounce it right because I'm Alise and she's Melissa, so.
Oh, cute. If it didn't have anything near yours, you would be black like us and be calling her Melissa.
No, I'm funny about people's names, so.
If my mother was in here, she would be too.
Barlow say, my name is my name. Love changes. Ooh, love changes. That's what love makes us change. Okay, I'm stopping. Love will make you whole.
I love that part. I love that part, yo.
Ha, ha, ha. Changer. That song is an earworm. That song
Yes,
gonna
it
be in my
is.
head for a month.
I'm glad that them two did it because I think it was rumored that Whitney was supposed to do it, but Clyde said no. You know that was too R&B-ish. Too R&B-ish. Clyde was like,
Like,
What happened?
oh no, I was just picking a question.
Oh, now
Make sure everybody get one in.
okay. So what artists
What?
would y'all have loved? Oh, you want to read it? Go ahead. My bad. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. I apologize. Go ahead, read it.
What artist would y'all have loved to see make an album in the studio and you can watch the process?
Oh, me and my mom were just talking about this too. I would have loved to be in the studio because, of course, I would have loved Off the Wall, all that stuff. But I would have loved to be in the studio where Raphael Sadiq made The Way I See It. I would have loved to be in the studio with that album totally because of course, it's Motown-ish, it's very 60s, but he used some of the Living Funk Brothers and they just jammed. You know what I mean? So I would have loved to be in the studio just to see Raphael's artistry, like fake, because y'all know he's one of my favorite producers of all time. So to see him in that zone and to see them making music, that was an album that I would have loved to see completely.
Mine's gonna make y'all laugh. I'm being silly, and then I'll tell you my real answer.
Mm-hmm.
But my fake answer is I'd have loved to see Johnny Gill and see Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis in the corner shaking their head at him.
Ah!
Like, I would, but my real answer, I would, I would love to see Janet doing Control, Rhythm Nation, or Velvet Rope to be in the studio to see the process of that.
Oh my God, I would have loved to see Velvet Rope, that process, like her mindset, because she wasn't in that same mindset she was with Control and Janet and Rhythm Nation. She was going through some shit, you know what I'm saying? And it was spilling out in her work. I would have loved to see her. I'd have loved to see that. That'd have been, what? Whoo, good one.
Neltron said, Johnny, stop dancing, just sing.
He wouldn't have been on beat anyway.
No,
He'd be
that boy,
counting.
no, he couldn't dance. That you could see. He might as well have been singing 1, 2,
Right,
because
right.
he be looking like this.
And I think,
Ooh, you know what? It would have been interesting to see the Miseducation to be live in the studio to see that whole thing come together.
yeah, because we ain't getting it when she do it live now.
We sat in the studio when they were making in a time machine, Dodo.
I know that, but I was trying to be
I
funny.
know. I'm just being difficult.
Yes,
I'm messing with
clearly.
you. I know you were being funny.
Oh yeah, Mary recorded my life. I would have loved to be in there doing that for sure. That's my favorite album ever. So
You probably couldn't be in that studio if you had asthma.
oh. You ain't lying. You ain't lying. You ain't lying.
Or if you had to take a drug test the next day.
You ain't
You
lying.
might not.
You ain't making it. Oh no. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. That, and honestly, another one I would have loved to see get made, Curtis Mayfield's Roots.
Mm.
I would have loved to see that album being made. I just would have stared at him and been like, yo, you're this dope. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, right, that'd have been me. Like, wow. He'd be like, you ain't got nothing to say? No. No.
I'm good. I'm good.
Right. And you know what was funny too, when Elton brought this song up, I was put it on Twitter yesterday. And I was listening to Aretha's Young, Gifted and Black. And I would have loved to have been in that session when they made Rocksteady. I would have loved to be. You had Donny Hathaway in there. You had her. You had Aretha. You had the Memphis Horns up in there. So you had Andrew Jackson in there. You had Chauncey, what's his name? Chuck Rainey in there. Like, they was jamming doing that. And like, I was just listening to it yesterday and I was jamming like, yo, I'd have been in my red cup like, ah, hey. I'd have loved that, dog. Like, I'd have loved it. I would have loved to be in that session. Like, crazy. You had some greats in there. You know what I mean? So that would have been a good one.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So it's my turn, right?
Yes.
To ask you, or is it? Yeah?
Yeah, it's on you.
Okay.
Oh yeah, now trying, yo, bro, like the musicians was crazy up in there, man. Legendary, man. That was a legendary session right there.
What are a few prolific songwriters that you think either didn't get their credit or that people just don't know about? Just a few.
Okay, songwriters that didn't really get their respect like that.
Or that people just didn't even know wrote music.
I think as a writer, I think Norman Whitfield doesn't get his respect as a writer. A lot of people know him more as a producer, and he was an amazing writer as well. I think him. I think Barrett Strong that did Money. He was a great Motown writer, but a lot of people don't know. So like those hits, I heard it through the grapevine, and all that he did for Gladys, and did some stuff for Marvin, and did all that. A lot of people just see Norman Whitfield, but no, Barrett Strong actually co-wrote those songs. So he was an amazing writer. Wow, I'm going back to Motown. Ivy Joe Hunter. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, I said surprise, surprise.
Right. Another one that a lot of people don't respect, to me, that should get a lot more credit with the Philly sound is McFadden and Whitehead. A lot of people do not know they wrote a lot of things in Philly, but a lot of people just go to Ain't No Stopping Us Now, and that's all they think they are. But them dudes was some amazing writers. So them liner notes, check it out. Some of the OJs, how I'm having the Blue Notes, like, son, they were some dope writers. So them, and I'm
Oh yeah, but I love that, Joe.
Yes, Joe. What's her name? Tamara Savage. She deserves a little bit more than what she gets. Absolutely, I think she does. A lot of people don't know she wrote some songs. You know what I mean? What else? Trying to think of one more. That was a dope writer. Respect as a writer. I think that one. Yeah, I think those are who I can come off the top with. Barrett Strong, Norman, and McFadden and Whitehead.
Good list. Good list.
Nelson, you really don't think Holla Doja Holla get their respect? Are you serious? Those are like, that's my favorite song. That's my favorite songwriting producer team of all time. They definitely get their respect. Absolutely, they on everybody's list.
Yeah.
They on everybody's list. Oh, LaShawn, you know, R.I.P. to him. He don't get a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody think it's Rodney. No. Brandy, a lot of her sound and the way she sings and them songwriting is from LaShawn. Well, you know how to, come on. You know these Twitter heads. A lot of them is probably 14. Still, they still peeing in the bed. You know they done. They don't know about no damn Holla Doja Howlin'. But I feel like they do. I do.
Of course you do. They're your favorites.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the people that I follow, like, I mean, since you talked about them sometime, Eric talks about them, like people that I follow, real music heads. Not none of y'all up in here because y'all follow me, so y'all some music heads. But you know what I mean? So oh man.
I'm trying to think. It's somebody I'm trying to think of. It is.
That's a good question.
They wrote for
Right.
everybody. Oh, my brain. He'll come back to me. It's somebody I'm missing.
That was a good question, sis.
Mm-hmm. I mean, people don't give the respect to like Chucky Thompson and the people that work with him and all that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Puffy overshadows this. You know what I'm saying? Like he overshadows.
Because he stuck himself in all the writing credits. Knowing he ain't write shit. But anyway.
He just put a comma, so you know how that go.
Oh yeah, Narada Michael Walker.
Oh, not a Michael Warden. Okay, yeah. But I see it seems that he gets his respect. As if you're a music head, I would say that. If you're a music head, then Northern Michael Warden definitely gets his respect as a writer. Oh, you know who we miss? Who don't get the respect even though we love him? Me and you love him. I feel like Albie Shore and Kyle West don't get their respect.
Yes. Oh man.
I don't feel like they get their respect at all. Like listen, what they did for Tevin, hell, what Albie Shore did for Jodeci, like them dudes, Pins, Leon Silvers.
Donnell Jones.
I guess we can call him a writer, producer, I would guess, right, sis? He was more on the production side of Shalimar, but I'm trying to think, did he write? Yeah. Yeah. That
yes, break it down. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Oh, so it's on me. All right.
It's on.
Okay, so what does R&B mean to you?
Oh no, JR, that's such a broad question.
Okay, I'll put it this way. What did it mean for you in your life? What did it do for you? What did R&B music do for you?
I mean, I guess with R&B, I guess it just had the R&B that I grew up on just had this genuine feeling. Like it just felt real. It felt full, and it was just a way to kind of singing songs, kind of way to vent emotions that I can't do to a poppy tune. It just don't hit me the same.
Yep.
You know, it's a pop jam. Yeah, I'm gonna shake my ass to it and enjoy it and have fun. But I need something else too, to when I need to feel, where I need
Right.
to, you know.
I got you. I totally get you. Because that's what I was going to say. I was going to say for me, it's really emotion for me. Because you know me, I'm emotional as hell. You know what I mean? So for me, that's how R&B connects to me. It connects to my spirit. Like, I love other genres as well. Like, again, we love the hip hop and all that. But something about R&B to me, it connects to my spirit more than anything. You know what I mean? Like, it I would never forget when I knew I felt something with R&B music. Like Gladys Knight, neither one of us came on. And I didn't even know what heartbreak felt like, but I literally dropped my controller, was like, yo, Ma, who is this? And she was like, well, yeah, this is Gladys Knight. And I said, I've never in my life experienced something like that. And I said, I love this music. This music did something. At 5 years old, you're not just gonna drop your controller playing Super Mario. I don't care what nobody say. You in it, you know what I'm saying? I'm winning. But her voice, something about her voice and something that did for me, and I was just like, whoa, that day changed my life because it was about a feeling for me. And that's what R&B is for me. It's about feeling. So that you said the same thing I did, so we here with it.
Love it. Yours was a little more articulate than mine. I was like, because it's just so, it's just
broad. Like you said, it's so broad. Like it's very broad. You know what I mean? So
yeah, like not. There's no other music that's going to make me feel the way. There's no other genre of music that's going to make me feel the way that Donny Hathaway and Stevie Wonder
come on,
and
come on.
Phyllis and Stephanie and all them, how they make me feel
Right, right.
all together.
Like
Like even though I am a bigger hip hop head, it still doesn't make me feel that way. It's just that's a separate thing. But it's like nothing makes me feel like listening to an R&B ballad or
oh,
you know,
girl.
like nothing makes me feel that way.
Right. I think, yeah, I agree. I agree. I think it's all about feeling. You know what I mean? And that's what I think a lot of people now, like people like us, we lost that feeling. You know what I mean? And I think that's what people want again. Because again, you know how we talk all the time and we say, yeah, some singers back then wasn't great singers like that, but you still felt something in their music that made you feel something. And I think now we've lost that. It's all about let's party and let's do this. And I love the time that we're in right now with this all Black Lives Matter and all this, because that's what happened in the 70s, where these artists was able to put what was going on in the world into their music, but still be soulful with it. You know what I mean? Like Marvin Gaye made a complete What's Going On album, and you felt it. It was like he put his soul into that album, but he was telling us what was going on in our communities. You had Donny Hathaway, who really should get respected first, of having an album that was religious and politically driven, but you felt songs like I Hear Voices, and you felt songs like The Ghetto, and you felt those type of songs. You know what I mean? I think that now we're missing. That's why I feel like, you know, hey, people might feel, man, I might rock the table on this one, but I feel like that's why everybody puts Beyonce's Lemonade so high, because of what she was going through, and she put it in there. So everybody's like, oh my God, this is the best thing since Thing, and da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, oh my God, there's a feeling here. She has some type of feeling in here. You know what I mean? And I think that's why everybody's like, oh God, I love it. Even though I think, again, it's a little overrated in my opinion, but you know, with that being said, I just think that that's what we're missing now. And I think that's what people are searching for. That's why it's like a lot of people are searching for vocalists, because at least with real vocalists, we know they're talented. We know they talented, you know what I'm saying? But it's like even in the production now, the soul is out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like I hear
Get your
you,
boy.
G. I hear you, bro. I hear you.
So this kind of leads into the question that Brother Michael Brown wanted me to ask you.
Okay.
And he said, do you think that R&B will ever get back to the point where the mainstream is the soulful music that you're looking for? He said not that it necessarily be the same as before, but do you
Right.
ever think it's going to get back as far as mainstream, back to a soulful place?
I think, in my opinion, if we get the right A&Rs again, if we find the right record executives, the ones that are at these big labels and things like that, big executives, and they know about the feeling of R&B music and they know that feeling that we're missing, and the powers that be, they can get the powers that be to really hone into this, I really think it could. But if we don't, and we stick with a lot of, because at the end of the day, it's the music business. It's always been the music business. That's why a lot of our artists got robbed. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't know about the business. And I think now our artists now are coming in, these younger ones, it's like, I want my business to be right before the music is right.
But yeah, that's the irony. We got this great music because the people didn't know the business. They just wanted to sing and be famous.
Basically. Yep.
They wanted to sing their songs everywhere. They wanted to make records. They wanted to make music. But that was bad because a lot of those people ended up in a bad place because they was dead broke.
Yep.
And they couldn't do nothing else.
They couldn't.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't go to school.
Nope.
They was touring and singing and doing all that.
And putting their trust into everybody. Putting their trust into their business manager. Then their business manager was stealing from them. And it's just a mess. But see, at least their hearts was in it. They like, we not care about the money. We love singing. So that's what we going to do.
Yeah. And now, a lot of the people do know the business side, and that hurts it because they're thinking of that first.
Right.
Instead of finding the balance.
Right.
Which right now, kind of, with the world that we're in right now, it's even harder because at least before the pandemic, at least these artists that don't get the attention, the artists we love,
right,
they could tour.
Yes.
And so they weren't getting endorsements and they weren't selling records and blah, blah, blah. But they could tour and they had have cult followings of people that's always with them, that's always going to go to the show. When they come to town, they're going.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They had those core fans that they built over time.
Mm-hmm.
But now the pandemic, that changed that up. And then with the changing of how music is consumed, to where people aren't making money off of their music. Like, they have to figure out other ways.
It's sad, too, because it's like you said, the way music is now. You see how people are making .0.00000 off one stream. Like, they're not even making any money off their albums anymore, which they never did anyway. Because remember,
but it's worse now.
It's worse. Now it's worse. You know what I mean? So that's why I like the fact that somebody was like, it sucks that this is before Jasmine even came out with this new album, before the pandemic and all that. And they was like, Jasmine don't get the respect that she deserves, and this is not right, and I think she's broke and all that. I'm like, well, then you never went to a Jasmine Sullivan show, because Jasmine Sullivan sells out. Every one of her shows, she sell out, and she get all that money because she ain't in no crazy 360 deal. Her tour money is her money. You know what I'm saying? So you go to her tour,
and then
what? Go ahead.
And then these artists that do have the core fan base and all that, and it's based on the singing and all that.
Yep.
Guess what? When they do go on tour, They ain't paying for no elaborate stage show. They don't need fireworks. They don't need 10 dancers. They don't. They sell out their little show and it's them. And let me tell you, when I saw uh Avery Sunshine,
Mm-hmm.
it was her, a keyboard, a dude playing bass, and her husband playing the drums.
Mm-hmm.
No background singer, and her. And it sounded better than any show I ever been to.
I agree.
She didn't need all that. And it was sold out in New York City,
Yep.
and it was everything.
Yep.
So they don't need a distraction.
I agree. I totally agree. I agree with that because
They just have voice, a few instruments, and a pen game.
me and my mom went to the Mid Condition concert in New York, and it was just them, their instruments. And Stokely needed no background vocals, and that show was like that. Sold out, all that. They didn't need no extra fireworks. They didn't need all this, and it was an amazing show. Amazing show. It's some people that need it, like as performers. Like, I love Janet. I love her. Y'all know I love her. You know what I'm saying? But she's the type that is a performer. She needs fire. She needs this. She needs dancers behind her. You know what I mean? It makes sense. But I feel like you be having, like, I'm sorry to say the nigga name, but I ain't gonna say his name. I'm just gonna say the dude that did Say It, right? And he was at the Power, he was at the Power 105 was doing something, right? And he had the stage for like 30 minutes, right? Fire all over the place, this, and that. I'm like, but it's taken away from you. Like, I don't get it. That's why I don't understand how this generation is like, y'all are going to see him, but he's giving y'all all of this, and he don't even dance like that. So why does he need all this stuff? So I'm confused.
Because with artists like you said, with artists like Janet, even Beyonce, Janelle, they dance, they do all that. That's part of their thing. That's what they've always done. That they're just big. They're entertainers. They're performers.
Right.
They don't give you a show.
Right.
And it makes sense. It wouldn't have made sense for Avery Sunshine to come out with 5 background singers and a 10-piece band and fireworks and dancers. It wouldn't make sense.
It wouldn't.
That's goofy.
Wouldn't. That's why I'd be like, what are y'all doing? And then you spending all your money to do this for what? If it's only you. That's when you show how dope you are. You know what I mean? When you can go on stage, give you a mic, and hey, if you just a singer, just give me a mic. Hey, maybe put me a little thing in the back, a little picture in the back or whatever, and have some stuff in behind me or whatever. But that's when you show your talent. Just sing. I don't need all this other stuff when you're not even an entertainer. You're just a singer. Like, I think me and you was just talking about it, about Luther. When he was on tour, right? As much, we know Luther can't dance for nothing. But for one thing, Luther gonna give you a little bit of this, but that singing, and he gonna be glissed out. You know what I'm saying? Like, he gonna be bright. His stuff gonna be glistening. But he still gonna give you a show. You know what I mean? He didn't give you all this stuff going in the air. When Whitney was on tour, the only time I saw her when she did like big fireworks and stuff like that when she went to South Africa. But that made sense. You know what I mean? Like, it was a big deal, so I get it. But other than that, Whitney don't do all that. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, when you go on tour, this is when you're supposed to show your talent. And a lot of these kids now, no. That's why I'm like, I don't mind going to, you know, what is the one, the Fillmore West. I don't mind going there to see a Jasmine Sullivan show. It's small, and she's very intimate with you, and boom, you're good. I don't have to go to the Verizon Center and be like 5 different people on it and they being extra. Like for what? It just
Yeah.
it's crazy to me. It's
If you
crazy.
don't know what to do with the extra, like the people I named, then you need to leave it alone and
Facts.
find something else to lean on.
Facts.
Let it be your voice or your personality, something.
Right. Right. Give me personality. You know what I'm saying? Like give me that.
Hmm.
If you're gonna give me that, give me
Yeah.
that. And it's just like, but again, going back to Michael Brown, because we went left. But I think it could if we get the right executives and get the powers that be to really respect it. But this happens with every genre. It happened with blues. It happened with jazz. It happened with this. And after a while, somebody knew. And again, I think Kill was on the Clubhouse yesterday. And his mother is a jazz musician, and he said in the 80s they was pissed off that Michael Bolton was that guy that was representing jazz music. They was like, what is this? There's no soul in it. Now jazz seems like it's unknown. Nobody don't talk about it anymore. And I feel like it just happens to every genre. Like right now, R&B it's been out since really the 30s, really. But now hip hop is the biggest genre right now. Like that's what it is, and it's making the money, and that's why we got our executives making our R&B artists sound like rappers. You know what I'm saying? Because they want them to fit into what's popular right now, which is very unfair. You know what I'm saying? Because it's taken away of what R&B is about, and we just said R&B is about feeling. So if you got these new artists that's coming out sounding like rappers, then it doesn't help us. It drops R&B lower and lower and lower and lower. And now with the industry all about the business, that's just what it is. It's about the business. So they
Yeah.
like R&B ain't
Yeah.
making no money, so we're not gonna give R&B a budget.
Yeah. Yeah. They talk about in the comments talking about Kenny G. Kenny G came in the scene, got popular, and he made turn jazz into that smooth jazz, which I hate.
Yes, that's.
Smooth.
Did
I
I
don't
say
like it.
Michael Bolton, y'all?
You did.
I meant Kenny G.
I mean, if
I
he
mean,
was
yeah,
a thief,
yeah,
just not jazz.
yeah.
He's back to R&B, I think, because I think he made very R&B sounding music,
Right.
but it was bland and he caked up off of it.
Yeah.
When our artists couldn't, when our artists, I mean, he was singing some of the same songs our artists sing, and we couldn't get nobody to look at us twice.
You know, with this interview that
So
Gladys did, and I posted it, and I love George Michael. I love George Michael. I do. But I love how Gladys said this, and she was absolutely right. She said, Bobby came out with Don't Be Cruel, right? In 88 and 89 and 90, that was he ran it. So, and of course, Faith, what's his name? George Michael album comes out, and he wins in the R&B categories. And she said, now, how is that fair? She was like, Bobby got to be the best at what he is in R&B just to cross over. But George Michael is already this, and he's able to win R&B categories, but Bobby Brown can't win pop. She was like, that's unfair. She was like, and this is how you mess up our genres. Because she like, Bobby should have won in 89. He should have won for best R&B album, and he should have won for best R&B male artist. If you want George Michael to be that guy, let him win them pop categories. But at least let Bobby win those. And she said that was a way to mess up our genres. Because then we are doing the best that we can, and we are getting these hits and everything, but y'all are making people look past that and go to somebody else. So I love that interview because it was like Gladys, and she was like, I'm a fan of George Michael. I am definitely a fan of him. But when it came to R&B, Bobby should have won that. That shouldn't have been George Michael. And she was like, I'm sorry. And she was right. And I think George Michael kind of felt offended because he did an interview when he did Listen Without Prejudice. And he looked and he was like, as much as it kind of hurts, Gladys is right. And I said, wow, that's a big deal to say something like that.
I just had a thought.
Yeah.
I wish that on your labels like your Motown and all that, and Philadelphia and Solar and all that.
Yeah.
I wish that if those companies would have been different from the white companies and actually took care of them artists, music would be so different because them artists wouldn't have left them. Because the artist said, well, I'm with my folk and they ripping me
That's
off.
real. That's
And
real.
they only can do this much for me.
That's
but
real.
at least if I do go over to the big company, yeah, they're going to fuck me too. But at least I have the potential of them to fuck me over on this, a little bit of this much instead of off of this much.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
think if they would have been able to have that trust to where black artists came out, be like, no, I want to be on the black label because they want to treat me good. I think those labels could have grown in a different way.
I agree.
Because all our artists, they ran off to,
The bigger labels.
MCA and Epic and all
Yeah.
that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but I think if even just a few of those labels would have did their people right, it would have changed the course of music history.
I totally agree. I totally agree. And I think that we can go back to Marvin. I think Marvin would have stayed with Motown if they didn't have him in the tax bracket. If they didn't have him, they didn't do his taxes. They didn't give him the money that he deserves. They didn't give him credits. They didn't give him anything like that. So he was like, you know what? I've been with y'all this long, and I'm still sitting here broke. And like, again, another interview that Gladys did, she said she was so pissed with this Motown 25 because she was like, y'all let Marvin go over there. He was starving overseas. He wasn't. Y'all basically had him broke. Y'all sitting there living off of him. And she's like, yeah, he broke because we got the same problem with y'all. So she was like, if y'all would have did us right and y'all would have worried about the artists and did your people right, this is supposed to be a black-owned label, then do your black people right. Then maybe people would have expanded and created their own, and we could have been, and then the music, we could have got bigger and bigger and bigger. But instead, they took from these artists. They couldn't, you know what I'm saying? It was a lot of them ended up broke. A lot of them died broke. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of them died because the labels won't take care of them, overworking them, and they end up being drug addicts, or they didn't get them the help they needed when they could have made a difference, or before it got to the extent.
And that's why I go so hard when it comes to Sean. That's why I go so hard on him, because I'm like, yo, music people saw what half the time Motown artists. You kind of was that guy, and you know what I'm saying, when it came to the 90s and this Motown vibe. That's what you was kind of giving. After you learned from Andre Harrell and Hev, let's just be real, and you created your own, everybody that left from you ended up broke. The only one that seemed to do fine was Faith. Janelle. I wish she would have never signed with him. I wish she would have never signed with him. Our artists go over there and their careers go down or they go broke. Like, so you see what Total said? They were this thing.
But you know what?
What?
They had an opportunity to do that, but they learned from what was done.
Right.
He did the same thing that all them other labels did and abandoned their people.
Yep.
So yes, I think he was crooked, but he did what he saw, and he's like, this is how you make it. This is the blueprint.
This is the blueprint.
I'm sure he looked up to Berry Gordy and them, and he's like, well, I see what they did. I'm going to do this.
Right. And it's sad. It really is sad. It really is sad. And then
And it was a chance. Like, again, like I said, like I think that would have changed if it had just been a couple of the bigger black labels that would have did right by their people. It wouldn't have been the same exodus of people to go to those big labels.
Yeah.
That changed. See, because the big labels, what they did, they changed the sound of those people. That was the thing. They had to sell their soul for them big labels.
Good.
And these white executives telling them what they want because they know what the pop audience want. They are the pop,
Right.
but they destroyed the sound of what made them these artists so great. They like destroyed it or dirtied it.
Yep.
They
Yep.
contaminated it. That's what I was
And
looking for.
it's absolutely, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. And that's why I'm mad. And speaking of Uptown, right, G. He's a student of Uptown. I was mad when Andre Harrell left Uptown to go to Motown. I was like, what are you doing? Like, you're going to them. They want what you built. So you going over there to help them, and it still didn't work out. Andre Harrell did not work out at Motown because it didn't make sense.
What wasn't at that point? Wasn't Motown a subsidiary of something else, or was it still just, or was it just still just
Motown was, yeah,
Motown?
it was just Motown. It was
Oh, okay.
Motown, yeah.
I wasn't sure.
Nah,
Okay.
yeah, it was just Motown. So of course, now I'm not knocking him. Motown said, look, we'll give you $50 million to come over here, or 20 million, whatever it was. I get it, and I understand, hey, you gotta live, you gotta do what you gotta do. But Motown wanted to take you from what you did for, you made careers out of people in the hood. And you went to Motown and nothing worked. Because again, it was authentic for you. You found these authentic artists. Now, when you get to Motown, just because you were the president, it was like,
Okay, I was right. Okay, they were under Universal. I thought so.
Okay, yeah. Because wasn't
Thank
Uptown,
you,
they was
Jim.
with MCA. Motown was with MCA. So he left them and went to Motown Universal instead of staying with Uptown MCA. And once he left, he gave it to Heb. And you know, Heb was an
Oh yeah, it
artist.
was Universal. So when Erica and stuff came out, it was under Universal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, our big labels change our sound. And that's what we lose. You know what I'm
They
saying?
want to water it down.
Yeah.
They're like, we want your sound. You know,
And we want to sell
we're
you
the
to
five
a pop
horsemen, and we've
audience.
got we're the five horsemen, and we got soul.
Right.
You know, that's what they do to it.
Yeah, it's the
Like,
truth.
no, we want the five heartbeats, not the five horsemen.
We right. Exactly. That's true.
Yeah, they water it down. They want the core. I mean, they don't want the core of it. They just want the trendy part of it.
Right.
And then they want to suck all the soul out of it.
Suck it completely out. And I think that's what started happening in the 2000s, late 2000s. They started sucking it out. And that's why, like, me and Sin always talk about, and we go back and forth with it. I knew when 2003 hit, I said, uh-oh. That's all I said. I was like, this, something's about to change here. You can feel it. I was like, uh-oh, this is about to change. And slowly it did. 2004. Then Atlanta really came in, and it was like, uh-oh. The soul is getting sucked out of mainstream here. We have it, but they still want to suck it out. You know what I mean? And just like, I always say this. I don't know if people agree. I feel like John Legend is the token black dude for mainstream. Anytime y'all want a tribute, because John Legend's soul that he had when he first came out with them first two albums, and you listen to, not the last one he did with Raphael, but the two before then, has no soul in it at all. None at all. I don't, no. I just don't. I'm like, that's why I don't like All of Me. I hate that song. There's no soul in that song. Where is it? You know what I'm saying?
Even though my mom,
what?
Even though my mama fights you about that song.
Nikita loves that song. Nikita loves All
But
of
I
Me.
don't.
I can't stand it because I'm like, y'all, it's so bland. Like, where is John Legend with when we had Get Lifted? Where's that? Where's Another Again?
Another Again?
Yes, you know what I'm saying? Like, where's that John Legend? Like, you can, again, like me and you always say, you can be an artist and you can try different things and do what you got to do. But at the end of the day, it's like, still have that essence of why we love you. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. Now I will say that the sucking soul out of music
IG.
is not 5G is not just an R&B issue
Okay.
because it's a hip hop issue. It's also with the especially like the alternative rock.
Mm-hmm.
It started out as something totally different, and they sucked all their kind of soul out of that. And you hear and to what's on, to what's popular. It wasn't the grunge grooves that was, in the
Mm-hmm.
basement. Or they find these groups and then within a couple they put out their first album and be all authentic and stuff. And then everything after that is just poppy stuff that wasn't part of their original sound. So it's just a music business thing. They want to sanitize it because they like, well, we want everybody to be able to digest it.
Right.
And you know what? Some stuff, just let it be its own thing. Let people learn to love it. That's why, shoot, when Missy and them came out, ain't nobody had heard no music like that before.
Nope.
They didn't change it up. Guess what? People learned how to like that. They heard it and was like, oh, what is this?
Right.
I want to be over here with these cool kids,
Exactly.
Like, they're really doing something different, So, or when you're Pharrell and all, like, you're like, oh,
Right.
okay,
That's the problem. It's like we don't have sounds anymore. You know what I mean? Like sounds, but it's still authentic. It's still a feeling in it, but we don't have the sounds anymore. Like there was when it was a Timbaland and Missy had their own sound. You had Pharrell and them had their own sound. You had these other people had their own sound. But it's like now everybody sounds the same. Nobody, you can't tell who's who and who made this and all this. Like when you back then, you was like, oh yeah, that's a Timbaland beat. That's Timbaland there. Or that was, I'd say Just Blaze. That's him. You know what I mean? Like now, we don't have that anymore. It's like, now who did this? Oh, he did this one too? And he did one.
Guess what?
Everybody sound the same.
No, now you know, because they say it all over through the whole song. Otherwise you wouldn't know.
True that.
Be like, JR, what a soul on the beat. Like, thank you, because I never would have known.
Right.
And I never would have looked it up to care.
And I think, was it you, sis, when we was doing this other live, I think you said now when you bring out a song, before you could just bring out the song and it be the artist. Now you got to put out the song and produce by and put their name in it. When a song is being debuted, you can be like, oh, this song you brought out produced by Timbaland. They didn't used to do that back then. You had to read the line of notes to find out who produced this. It was about the artist, and that's it. It seemed like the producers are winning more than our artists right now. Everybody knows who London on the track is. He ain't from London, is he?
Ain't that a boy name? I don't know.
I don't know. Idea. I'm like,
I don't know them.
True. I'm like, Mike Will and all these. I'm like, really? Y'all sound the same. It's sickening.
Okay, so is it my turn?
Yeah.
No, I asked Michael's question.
Oh, you asked Mike.
And he said that he's like, watch, y'all gonna talk about that. He knew with that question.
He knew. Oh, he knew. He knew.
Okay. Yeah, so ask me, I guess you can ask me one more question and then yeah.
Okay.
And then we'll see where we go from there. Do you have any more, or did you ask all of yours?
I got two more, but I don't even know which one I want to ask. Do I want to be nice to you? Or do I want to be, nah, both of them is nice. This is my personal question. I know as much as your style, you know I love your style. I'll be like, sis, you on it. Does music help you style yourself? Or it don't? It doesn't?
I mean, when I was younger.
Okay.
But that was more of wanting to be on the trends of what
was going on.
Of what the artists were wearing and their styles and kind of So the 90s, yeah,
Okay.
90s and
Okay.
shoot, when the 90s, I mean, honestly, in high school, I was trying to dress like SWV with the or like Mary with the hip hop, but still with a little feminine flair to it.
Right.
You know, the big shirts and the sneakers and
Right.
you know the all the different hairdos for sure.
Right.
Oh my God, for
Mm,
sure. And
okay. Cause I'll be
for
like,
me, when I was in high school, I wanted. Now I tell you what, who did influence me.
ooh,
I wanted to be Toni Braxton with the hair, and I was one of the first girls in high school who had the short cut because I wanted to be like Tony and Hallie and all them, like the shortcuts.
okay. Okay.
So I
Oh
had fly
yes, that was
shortcuts
from
in high school.
cross colors and Kyle Kanai. Woo!
Oh yeah.
Yes, yes. But that was one for myself. But mine is this is kind of a sweet one. What song do you think describes you and your mom's relationship? Don't be mean to my mama now.
Hey, some days it's caught out there, and some days it's Patti LaBelle. You are my friend.
Okay.
Or
She said
even,
some days. Some days it's caught
I
out
mean,
there.
keep it real. Some days I hate you so much. Not so much nowadays, but it used to. We in a good place now though. But
Right, right. Yeah.
yeah, somewhere between those. But maybe I don't know. I'm trying to think of a song that really, really. I don't know. This isn't R&B. I know we the R&B
Yeah.
representers, but I would say the Beatles. I get by with a little help from my friends. We help each other.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Wow. That was beautiful, sis. I mean, the quiet as it's kept, the Beatles was clearly inspired by R&B music, so we know the deal. That was
And
dope.
my lovely friend Keith, he tried so hard to make me a Beatles fan, and I'm still not. And so he sends me records. I didn't even open this one.
What?
This one, this Revolver, I actually do play it from
Okay.
time to time. I didn't even. Ooh, I hope you don't watch this. I didn't even open it. I meant to because I wanted to play it and just hear it
That
with
album is
new
amazing.
ears. I wanted to hear it with new ears,
Yeah.
but so I'm gonna leave it out so I'm gonna play it when we get off.
Yeah, Aubrey Road, I love. Yeah, I'm not the biggest Beatle fan either. I get it, sis. I get it. You know I get it. But Aubrey Road is that album is dope. I must give him what credit is due.
Yeah.
They
See, I
still
love.
get the cute in public, but that album is cool.
Yeah, and the album I like. Yeah, the Abbey Road I like.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean I like Abbey Road and I like Revolver.
Revolver. Yeah.
But yeah, get by with a little help from my friends.
Oh.
And what's so interesting, it wasn't until I got older, like in the last 3 or 4 years,
Uh.
and realized how much my mother respects the things I can do. And I know a lot of things that she doesn't know, and vice versa. And you have to grow up and go through stuff to realize that y'all are both human adults. She's she's not my mama. She's Miss Wesley. She is a person. I'm not her daughter. I'm Alise. You know?
Right.
And it takes a long time to change that dynamics.
Absolutely. You know I get that. With me and my mom, we get it. Like I was always her
Yeah.
baby. You know what I mean? I was always her baby, and that's just what it's gonna be. And when I started getting older and started being mouthy and like, Mom, I got my own life to live, we kind of had a little time. You know what I mean? Now it's like she understands. You know what I'm saying? She's R&B and
Mm-hmm.
I'm JR, and you know that's just what it is. But again, I still fear her. She's still crazy, but at the end of the day, we understand each other that we're human. But again, she's the music head. I learned from her. Well,
and you know what? I think once we realize, I'm gonna tie this back into music.
yeah.
Once we realize that our artists are not there for us to be their puppeteer and what to do, that they are humans, that they change, that they have ideas and they want to try the things. And I think we forget that we don't own them. And it's just like with parents, they realize, oh, I don't own them. They are their own person. And it's that same thing that I think we do with our artists, and it hurts us.
Yep.
We don't get the quality music because we don't want the dynamic to change. And if you let that person explore and find everything, and find a new sound,
right,
then you're like, oh, wait a minute, I like this. This is new.
Yep.
And then our artists would have more longevity because people would allow them to evolve.
Agree.
Because they can't make the same album 10 times. Because then you're gonna down them and say, oh, their albums sound the same, but you won't let them do nothing different.
That's what happened with Mary. Weren't we just talking about that?
So what is it? What do you want? Which one? Let me know.
Yep.
Do you want them all to sound the same, or do you want it to be some,
That's exactly what happened to Mary. We was just talking about that. Mary came with the Mary album, was amazing. Us fans, the real music people liked it, but those other fans was like, nope. Then she went back to the hip hop soul stuff, and that's what Mary has been doing since 2001. That, and it's like,
because you know what? Let me tell you one artist that I love the fact that they've been able to evolve and basically do what the fuck they want. I don't know how she pulled it off, but she did, and that's Erica.
Yep.
Because this album don't sound like this album.
No, it does not.
But it all sounds like Erica.
Yep. Absolutely.
She was one of the few big artists that they that was able to push and do that.
Right. I know, Tron. All right, bro.
So, but yes, I think we need to get out of here.
Okay.
We really talked. This was a good show,
y'all. You had some good questions too.
Yes. All right, y'all. So thanks for kicking it with us. This Thursday,
our radio
2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
You better act like you national. Yeah.
And actually just go to randbreps.com and the link to get on to the radio show is there. Or if you want to catch the old ones, they're all up there. So ball out.
Yep. Get y'all some merch, all that good stuff. We got some stuff coming up too, y'all. Woo-hoo.
Grab it. Yes. We got some dope new content and stuff coming.
Yes.
And get your shirt. You know what? I'm gonna make a coupon, and the coupon gonna be, what's gonna be the coupon code? Who's we just talking?
Ask the R&B Reps. That's corny.
No, make it be something that we talking about. Artists.
Okay.
I was just talking about Erica. Type in Badu in the coupon code, and it'll be $5 off of this shirt.
Okay. That'll work.
Badu. That's it. B-A-D-U.
Badu. There it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
this was an amazing show, y'all. Thank y'all for hanging with us, man. Rocking with us. This was amazing. We did a lot of talking with you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you for your good. I love your answers. I think you really got into it.
Oh yeah, sis. That's what I'm saying. Like, I was like, what is this gonna give me? And you took me somewhere. I was like, hey. That's why I
wanted to kind of go out of the box of stuff that I normally ask you, or that someone would ask. So thank you for playing along. Yes. And actually, our friend Sean, and he didn't come on tonight. He was the inspiration. He was like, why don't y'all interview each other?
Yes.
I was like, yup.
And y'all learned a little bit more of music, what we like, sis, through the Beatles at y'all tonight. Like, She threw the Peters at y'all tonight, so that was dope. That was amazing. It's dope.
Yes. So see y'all later, and everything that we do is gonna be at R&B Reps. So if
Yes.
you need a link to stuff that we doing, it's right there. As soon
Right
as you
there.
go on the front page, it's
Yes.
right there. You ain't got to dig through it. It's right there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. So good night.
Good night.
Excuse
Love
me.
all y'all.
No. Yes, we won't say goodbye. We'll say good night.
I like that.
But love y'all. Love you, bro.
Love you,
And
sis. Love you always. See y'all.